Second mistake, are you ready for it? Maybe you're thinking, and let me know in the chat or give me a wave, have you ever thought, I don't have enough experience? Has anyone ever thought that? I don't have enough experience, or I don't have enough knowledge. I can't do anything. I don't know enough. Yeah. Your mind is lying. Of course, that can be the case. There are gaps often in our knowledge and our experience. I think it's the best way to utilize that energy is to work on filling the gaps rather than being like, I can't do it. Or how to get the experience to do that impact. You know what the answer to that is? Start. It's so simple. You start, and it's really messy, and it's really uncomfortable, and it's really shit at times what you're sharing. But that's when you don't get stuck in perpetual preparation. Perpetual preparation, constantly preparing and never actually doing or starting. Anyone else found themselves getting stuck in constantly preparing and not actually just taking the leap? I've done that a lot. So, perpetual preparation, let's not get stuck there. Why? Because you'll never do anything. And I really want you, the next thing coming up is a massive writer downer. That's definitely not a phrase, but I'm going to keep saying it. Wait, are you ready? Are you ready? Yes. You have to be willing to be bad at something long enough to get good at it. You have to be willing to be bad at something for long enough to get good at it. And that's what I was saying before. You start, it's super uncomfortable. It's a little bit shit. What I'm doing doesn't fully make sense yet. It's a little bit chaotic. It's all over the place. But I have to be willing to stick at it for long enough to get good. That is a principle of life. That is not unique to yoga teaching. It's not unique to you or me. It's a principle. So it works for all places, all people in all places at all times. Has anyone ever started a new hobby and been absolutely atrocious at it? Or maybe not atrocious, but like, oh, this is really not my strength. Yeah, totally. That's what happens when you start new things. I'll give an example. A while ago, I was starting to get into money management and figuring out finances because that's not something I was ever taught. Oh my God, I made my own spreadsheet and I would spend hours manually writing all of my spends, like weekly shop, 25.32. And then one time a student just came who works in a bank and she was like, you know, with the digital banks, you can just export a spreadsheet in like 2 seconds. And I was like, so yeah, that literally, that's like, oh God, this is taking forever. And she was like, yeah, they have a feature for that. So slightly besides the point. However, you have to stick at something for long enough and be bad at it, sometimes really bad at it, in order to get good at it. It's kind of like, has anyone ever cut their hair in a funny haircut and then you have to grow it out? Or maybe it's even just a fringe or bangs and you have to grow it out and it like, you go through that really weird stage where it's like, I kind of have to go through this weird stage to get to the other side. It's kind of like that. Like you have to be willing to be bad at it for long enough to get good. And this is how you have to be prepared to look. Whether it's your teaching, your musicianship, your videography, like whatever it is, perfect picture. I know. You have to be willing to be this guy. Maybe this could even be Ralph. He looks like a Ralph. Let's ground it with the Yoga Sutra. Oh, sorry. Or it's like We're Going on a Bear Hunt, the book by Michael Rosen. He says, I love this book. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. We've got to go through it. You know, he goes on the bear hunt with the children. They go through mud and grass and a river and a cave. And every time the line is repeated, we can't go over it. We can't go under it. We have to go through it. You have to go through this stage. It's non-negotiable. Yoga Sutra 1.1, Atha Yoga Anushanam. No, Anushasanam. There we go. It translates now the practice of yoga begins. Not when you've got enough experience, not when you've saved enough, not after January, once all the Christmas stuff's died down, not in the summer, now. That's when the practice of yoga begins. Start something, do something now, because otherwise you will be stuck in perpetual preparation and you will never share what you were born to share. Start something. I'll give it away now. I'll tell you the end before you get there. It's going to be messy. So we can all be on the same page. We know that's going to happen. So we don't need to try and figure it out. It's going to be messy. I can guarantee you. It's going to be a little bit chaotic and a little bit fugly, and it's not going to make that much sense all the time. And that's the bit you have to be willing to go through in order to get to the other side.